Welcome to the Quantum Time Traveller, where we journey beyond time and space to unlock the universe's deepest secrets. I'm your host, Emma Bushell, and together with my co-host, Susie Edwards, we'll guide you through channeled experiences and soul truths, revealing ancient wisdom and higher dimensions. In episodes, we'll also welcome invited guests to share their own spiritual revelations and cosmic insights. Prepare to expand your mind and elevate your spirit as we uncover the mysteries of existence. This is the Quantum Time Traveller, where the universe speaks, and we're so excited for you to join us on our journey. Welcome to the Quantum Time Traveller, and this exciting episode is here to really stimulate and activate you in really understanding why most people cannot connect to their spirit team. And this has plagued so many people that come into my space that just are at their wits' end with being spiritual, being awoken, wanting guidance and direction, and are having spiritual experiences that they cannot explain, but yet they can't seem to connect and understand what they're meant to be doing. And it can really disorientate you beyond anything that you've imagined, because you are really on a different path now when you've awoken. And that means that there's no ego involved, or you're getting rid of ego. You're really coming back to you being you, the way you were meant to be here, in your divine self, your purpose, your mission. And not everybody heeds that call. Not everybody undertakes the mission that they're meant to be here for. However, so many people want to connect or understand how they connect to their spirit team, because they are finding it very difficult to understand the messages that are coming through. All I want to do is just break the myths down as to clearly and simply what you do to connect to your team. And just take a moment just to be as in a space really where you can undertake this information as simply as I'm going to be giving you it. This is a channel transmission, and you will probably be activated by this on an energy level as well as a coherent level, is what I'm going to be talking through my voice. Okay. So number one is why most people can't connect to their spirit team is because they're overthinking it. They're overthinking something has to be a certain way in order to connect. Or that person that they're wanting to connect to, even though they don't really know what they're connecting to, they're visualizing it as a human being, as somebody you would rock up in a room with and have a conversation with, having a cup of tea or a drink of whatever. People visualize it the same as talking to a human being, which for some people is so. If you've got really, really, really amazing gifts, or your most dominant gift is that clairvoyance, then some people do actually experience this. However, for most people, your visualization of what you expect it to be is far removed from what it actually is. So therefore, you're creating a barrier. You're creating an interference so that you can't actually receive your own information, because you're making it a certain way. And when you're making it a certain way, it's a false sense of being with your team. So the cleanest, purest, simplest way is to ask. And you ask in a way that you ask your spirit team to support you, receiving messages that you want to receive. Okay? And that sounds very simple, but most people don't ask. most people command, or most people think they're entitled to receiving, or you start manipulating things like, oh, if you're really there, show me X, because you're becoming frustrated with the fact that it hasn't happened for you yet. And that actually creates a barrier between you and your team. And imagine you're speaking to somebody as you would do your friends, and you spoke to them in that way. Well, you're going to get a result based on that. So why should it be any different with something you physically possibly can't see, or visibly can't see or feel just yet? And this is a development that you have to develop with spirit. It's a slower process than you imagined it to be. It's not an instant gratification that you can just command and you expect to see something happen. This is a relationship that you nurture. This is a relationship where you decipher your coding with your spirit team when you're asking for information and receiving it. This takes time, and it's not something that's an instant gratification for you just to feel good or jump processes or want to get a result to, like, boom, now. It just doesn't happen that way. So the first thing you need to do is ask your team to assist you with your divine mission, or with your divine purpose, or with your divine plan. And you ask in a way that you feel right. So you could say something like, I ask all of my spirit team to stand forward and support me with my divine plan for my highest good. And there you go. Now, if you consistently do this, I would go out and ask that first. I say that to all of my people that work with me, all of my clients that work with me. This is number one rule. The second thing you need to do with your spirit team is you need to understand how you're going to receive your information. And you ask your team to show you, possibly in the way that you'd like to be shown as a human being. So, for example, I like to hear things and I like to see things in my senses, in my cognizance. So I ask my team to show me it, and I ask to hear it. And how that applies to me is that then I am then going down a research route after I've asked my team to show me stuff, where they show me a book, they show me something online, they show me a film, they show me something that I'm guided to and I take action on. And therefore I gain the information from what they're showing me because they're working through me. And I can actually coherently put together the information that I've asked for them to show me it. I also get all clairaudience so that I can hear what they're saying. And I'm that's why I'm trance channeling. I adverse to that. That's my most dominant with clairvoyance. And I ask them to speak to me, and I can audibly hear them. You may want to show you a sign. So your sign might be something of a color, or for example, mine's a bird. So I'd ask them to show me a white bird. And normally with this, I'd ask them to show me within 48 hours. If I am on the right path, please show me X. And keep it really simple. Don't big it up to something it isn't, or create something really difficult so that it becomes very complicated. And it's very clear and specific. Your spirit team work very clearly, very specifically, and very directed. So if you're just layering and layering stuff up so that you're just, you're like in a circus with what you want to see and making it too complicated, then guess what? That communication will be complicated and it probably won't manifest or come through in the way that you want it to. So These are fundamentals with connection. And these are the reasons why most people cannot connect. You're never asking them, number one, and you're not being specific with the information you're asking. And you make it once. You don't go over and over it and overcomplicate it. Remembering it's a clear channel of information, a clear focus of being specific, and your team are responding to that. You're just their Wi-Fi signal. You're giving signal. You're wanting it in the clearest, most succinct way. They deliver. Job done. Now, the third thing I want to say on this is why you can't connect to your spirit team is because you're impatient. You don't look out for the signs. And if you do look out for the signs, you don't start believing it's true. Maybe it's taken longer than you thought. Maybe you haven't listened to the signs that have come through and you've overlooked them. And then the information becomes confused. And then you're second guessing it. And then you're thinking it doesn't work. These are massive interferences that you are not actually anchoring into your communication with your team. And therefore, the communication has become lost because you've not actually actively supported them by hearing it or seeing it or sensing it, because you're actually going into an emotion, a reaction, which is an interference for the communication coming through. It's a distortion of the information. Remember, you're a channel. Remember, you're a signal. You're a receiving signal that you are giving out in command and receiving it back. It's as simple as that. There is nothing else as complicated. The human just has to complicate it because they don't think it's that easy. You get to know your relationship with your spirit team by doing this every single day. If you're really, really wanting to do this and you're having communication with your team, you just develop this as a muscle, as a memory muscle for connection with them every single day, and you will see huge shifts in your relationship with them, and you will see huge shifts in the information you're receiving. So therefore you can take the action and give the information out that you see fit to support your journey here with your divine plan. This is a really short, brief podcast on the clearest, most possible way why most people can't connect to their spirit team. These are the clearest top tips I can give you as a channeler, as a trance channeler, as a psychic for all of my life that you need to make contact with. Join our Facebook group, Awake Official. It is a group of people that want to connect, do connect, increase your psychic gifts, talk about your awakening symptoms, how you progress with your development. It's in our Facebook group. It is active, and it's a place for you to actually join and receive information from your teams and ascend accordingly to your divine plan. Or the super curious, come and join us. Just be immersed in this area of development and join other people that are on their awakening process or on their missions with their spiritual team, or they're going into an area that you know full well but want to step into more. It's an amazing group, and I urge you to join it so that you can be with other people in a community, so that you can ascend accordingly with where and what you want to be with your spiritual journey. Thanks so much for listening. Remember, join us on YouTube and subscribe, and you can see me on there talking about all of this. Until next time, we'll see you then.